Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about the Christmas cactus, which is a very popular houseplant. It's known as the Schlumbergera truncata or the truncate Schlumbergera. What a cool name that is. It's endemic to southeastern Brazil, so the states of Sao Paulo, all the way down through to Porto Alegre, Florianopolis, even as far down south as Uruguay. This tree here its population is decreasing in the wild, so we really have to work on preserving it because it's endemic to a really small land of Atlantic coastal rainforests, which happen to be depleting because of logging and the lumber industry in southern Brazil. So, for that reason, we got to be careful and got to do our part to protect the Christmas cactus. That being said, it's very widely sold commercially, and I think it'll do well in captivity, I guess you could call it. Like, I do have concerns for it in its wild habitat, but I feel like it'll rebound with the commercial stock that we're producing of this plant. So, right now it's the middle of spring, and this plant usually will bloom at around Easter time, hence the name Easter lily or Easter cactus or Christmas cactus. But a trick for if you want to get this plant to bloom at any time of the year is to start initiating day-night cycles. So if you give this plant 10 to 12 hours of direct sunlight per day, and then transition that with a photo period of complete darkness without any degree of light exposure, for a very bare minimum 10 hours of night, it'll produce all these beautiful little bloom buds for you. So this here comes in a wide variety of colors. It comes in creamy colors. It comes in pink, obviously. It comes in burgundy. You can get it in a peachy type color too, which is really quite sweet. You can propagate this plant from tiny little cuttings from each segment. So I'll just put this down for a second and show you what I mean. So you can get like tiny little separated stems. I would recommend around this size, so around 3 lobes, and you can root those without rooting hormone, just in water. Or in a growing media, that actually works pretty well too. This plant can bloom year round. I know a lot of people have great success with it, and they can have blooms anywhere from Halloween till Halloween of the next year. It's in the Cactaceae family, so it's a true cactus. It's not by any means really spiny or like painful to the touch. Like it doesn't have big quills or anything. This plant really does like high humidity on its top foliage, but if you give it a little bit too much humidity, then it'll start like the cells will start lysing and you might get a little bit of heart rot. Now I picked this particular plant because I've had problems with it in the past with this exact plant here, and I just wanted to show you some of the problems it could have. So if you're experiencing any bud drop or like flower loss, that's just because of a lack of moisture, and it's also due to an inconsistency in watering. I water mine every single Friday, and they seem to like that. This is a pretty small one. You can get like huge ones as they grow up, and you can get them even when they're like 3 or 4 feet across. It's crazy. And they have a really nice cascading form. This one's just kind of starting, as you can see. Gotta repot this guy. So some of the problems I was talking about before is I keep mine outside in the summer during like our hot season, which here would be like July and August. And if you leave a little bit of excess moisture on the leaves, they get a little bit of sun scalding. And then they are prone to some insects. So this here is a piercing sucking insect damage. Could be like an aphid or something just leaving its frass on your plant. So you want to try to avoid that. They're not very heavy feeders. If you just water them, maybe with a little bit of like compost tea, they should be fine. But I like supplementing mine with a balanced 20-20-20 fertilizer, and that just initiates those blooms. Now, some of them are fragrant, but in my experience, a lot of them are not. They're not edible, they have very fibrous roots, and they produce these fans. This one only has one fan, as you can see. So that makes them really easy to layer and divide that way. They have these really nice buds too. So yeah, it's just a nice little festive plant, and I hope you enjoy growing it. It's definitely well worth it. And let me know how you do. Hope you get many blooms. Have a good one.